Hi, Jim Sammons here. You know, probably one of the most common questions I get when I'm traveling around the world or through the internet is people are always asking me, aren't you afraid of sharks? How come you have your feet in the water? Shark's gonna bite your foot off. So it comes up a lot. So I wanna talk to you a little bit about kayak fishing in sharky waters. And that's one of the main things is know if the water you're fishing in is known to have sharks. I mean, basically there's a lot of areas that you just don't even have to think about it. You know, they just don't have big shark populations. You want to try and stay informed as to, you know, what the potentials of running into sharks is in those waters. So that's first and foremost, know what you're looking at in the area that you're going to. And then just take, you know, certain precautions. If you know that you're going to be in sharky waters, yeah, maybe you don't want to be hanging your feet off the side of your kayak. You know, even in sharky waters, the waters that I know have sharks, I don't really think about it too much because I don't have a real big fear of sharks. I have a lot of respect for these animals, but I don't have a fear. I don't think that most of the places I go that some shark's going to jump on my kayak and try to yank me in. So first off, you know, like I said, know the water. Keep the feet on board if you know you're in a sharky area. Particularly, most interaction with sharks happens when you're dealing with fish, as you're bringing a fish up. So those are times that you definitely want to keep your feet in the water because you don't want to have a shark come up and try to grab your fish and accidentally get your foot. I love to bleed out my fish. I like to bleed out my catch. It just gives you better meat. But if you're in sharky waters, the last thing you want to do is introduce blood into the water right next to your kayak. So if you are going to bleed the fish, bleed it into your game bag. Don't have that blood flowing out. Because if you just bleed it into the cockpit, you're going to have a constant trickle of blood coming out of your kayak. And that, you know, that just brings them around. We have hammerheads here that if you do that, they just come around. They're not aggressively attacking your kayak, but it can be a little unnerving when you have a shark swimming around your boat. The other thing is, you know, take that precaution. If you're in really sharky waters and you have lost a lot of fish to sharks, you know, maybe you consider getting the item like the Shark Shield. It is a electronic shark deterrent that affects the ampullae of Lorenzini on a shark, which is the receptors on the nose of a shark, and they just don't like it. I have seen this thing work. I mean, I would never say consider buying one of these unless I had seen it work firsthand. I've seen it work firsthand many, many times. So what I do is if I've hooked into a nice fish, I will then turn on my Shark Shield. I don't leave it on the entire time. I'm just not in those type of sharky waters. If I was up in the Red Triangle, maybe up in Northern California where they have a lot of white sharks, I'd probably have that thing on all the time. I might have two of them. But I tend not to fish in where there are a lot of white sharks. But I have seen the Shark Shield work firsthand. If you fish in sharky waters, like New Zealand or offshore Louisiana, where I have seen tons of sharks, you definitely might want to consider getting the Shark Shield. Those are just a few tips. If you have any questions or comments, please put them down in the comment section below. Give us a thumbs up if you liked the video, and make sure you've subscribed to Kayak Fishing Tales.